You know you've seen them, the online gurus with their perfect morning routines, their perfect lifestyles. But is that really how wealth is built? So today, we're going to cut through all that noise and look at the sincere, and let's be honest, much harder path that successful people actually took to get where they are.
Right. Let's just dive straight into it. You see it all over social media, right? The 5 a.m. ice baths, the hour-long meditations, the perfect organic diet. All these influencers swear by these habits, but is that really the secret sauce? Is that what builds a fortune? Or is it possible they're selling us a story that just so happens to leave out all the really, really hard parts? And this, right here, brings us to what we can call the success myth. It's this idea that what wealthy people are doing now is somehow what got them there in the first place. Let's really break that down.
This is such a game-changing idea. Don't copy the luxurious, balanced lifestyle a millionaire has today. That's the finish line. Instead, you have to look at the grueling, unbalanced, absolute grind they endured to get there. And that difference? Well, it's everything. Think about it like this. On one side, you've got the pretty guru checklist that they're selling you in their courses. But on the other side, you have the actual, gritty reality of the grind. The real story isn't a scheduled ice bath, you know? It's waking up exhausted because you just have to. It's eating junk food because you literally don't have time for anything else. It's pushing through when you're sick just to close one more deal. That right there is the real price of admission. And here is the trap that so many people fall into. They mistake the result for the cause. The fancy car, the exotic travel, the balance, those are the trophies you get after you've won the war. They are not the weapons you use to fight it. Big difference. Okay, so if the whole guru lifestyle is basically a myth, then what does the real, the sincere path to success, what does that actually look like?
Well, it's not glamorous, but it is real. The journey is relentless work. It's pushing through hardship. And yeah, a lot of the time it's sacrificing your personal health in the short term. It means finding mentors who have actually been in the trenches and learning on the fly, not because it's on your to-do list, but out of pure, raw necessity. And this is just brutally honest, right? This path can have some very real physical consequences. Now, the point isn't that you should go out and destroy your health, not at all, but it's about understanding the level of sacrifice that's required. Trying to achieve some kind of perfect balance from day one is just, it's a fundamental misunderstanding of what the fight is actually like.
So you've embraced the grind. You're starting to make some money. Now what? Where do you put it? Now we're going to shift from mindset to a really practical strategy, a powerful investment framework that pretty much anyone can use. It's called the 90-10 portfolio, and the idea is incredibly simple but also incredibly effective. You secure the vast majority of your money, 90%, in safe, stable, foundational assets. And then, with that other 10%, that's where you take your shots. Just think of it this way. That huge 90% slice of the pie, that's your fortress. It's built to preserve your capital and just grow steadily over time. And that little 10% slice, that's your launch pad. That's where you can afford to take those big risks for potentially explosive growth, all without blowing up your entire financial future. So, what goes where? Well, their 90% foundation is what you might call dad and mom money. Solid, reliable stuff like real estate, stocks of big established companies, and broad market ETFs. Your 10%, on the other hand, that's for the gunfire and bombs. This is the high-octane stuff like crypto, more speculative stocks, or maybe even investing in startups. It just brings a powerful balance to your whole financial life. The really brilliant part of this strategy is psychological. We all have that animal instinct, that little voice that tells us to chase a hot tip or a new trend. The 10% allocation gives that instinct a controlled playground. It lets you take those risks, it lets you satisfy that urge, all while knowing that 90% of your wealth is safe and sound. Okay, so this all ties into the final and maybe the most crucial piece of the puzzle, the mindset. We've talked about the work ethic, we've talked about the investment strategy. Now let's talk about the philosophy that separates the truly wealthy from those who just, well, look the part. There is a huge difference between living a rich lifestyle and being rich. One is all about spending, upgrading your car with every raise to keep up appearances. But the other is about owning assets. It's about having your money work for you. One creates fragility. The other creates genuine, lasting security. The path to true wealth really happens in 3 stages. First, it starts with financial maturity. That's just mastering the simple but difficult discipline of spending less than you earn.
Next, you level up to financial intelligence, learning how to invest that surplus effectively using strategies like that 90-10 rule. And the final destination? That's financial independence. That's the point where your assets generate enough income to fund your life forever. That is the ultimate goal.
And that right there brings us to our final question. And I really want you to think about this. With every single financial decision you make, are you focused on building a lifestyle that just looks good today? Or are you focused on building a foundation of wealth that will secure your tomorrow? Because the path you choose, well, it makes all the difference in the world.